The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
You must be new in town.
Black Scorpion, protecting the city from Breathtaker. Clockwise.
I've served my time. From now on, time serves me. Hickory dickory dock, time for another clock.
Yaddle yaddle yoo-hoo!
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and you know I love to follow a good story down the drain. I mean, a story of down the drain. I suppose sometimes I also go down the drain, but nonetheless, it's fun to report along the way. And I've been talking about a lot of the various woke kind of superhero shows, and I wonder if it's a microcosm, if it's an indicating factor or a precursor to something we might expect with the new Marvel films. I've been talking about, how are these new kind of sub B tier characters going to do on the big screen? Will Captain Marvel 2 make $1 billion if it's not required reading for Endgame? I don't know that I could definitively say I'm 100% sure it won't at this point, but I think it'll be far more difficult. Captain Marvel will still seem somewhat familiar to Marvel cinema goers in 2022, so maybe it'll still buoy. I was expecting to see what would happen with Black Widow. I was suspect that Black Widow would make $1 billion too, but maybe the machine is just that effective down at Disney and Marvel. But before I get into this video, huge shout out to Ridge Wallet. It's the easiest sponsor I've ever promoted because I use it and I love it. I've switched over. They approached me several months ago. I switched away from my trifold to this, which sits conveniently in my pocket. It's got a nice money clip, and this thing has been in my pocket every single day, and it's not a scratch on it. It's in perfect condition. On their website, they have an absolutely huge collection that you can choose from of various different products. You can pick aluminum, titanium, carbon fiber. I went with carbon fiber because it's a little bit lighter, but then you have aluminum too, a wide variety of colors. And look, they support the channel and they give you 10% off if you use my promo code, which is in the pinned comment down below. I know you might not be thinking about getting a new wallet, but I recommend at least trying it out because I bet you'll love it. Now, this additional story today brought to you by Batwoman. Now, you may remember Batwoman for some of the classic lines about the Batsuit saying, it'll be literal perfection when it fits a woman. You may remember Batwoman for, its great theme song. You may remember Batwoman for all the articles talking about, not about the great action, not about the great story writing, about the great actors, about the great characters. No. The only articles you really see are, hey, Batwoman also has a girlfriend, and this is important. Now, it's fine. Clearly, and I've said this before, and to be fair and unbiased, you have to admit that obviously I'm not the target for this, but if you're going to have a character, I've always said this, if you're going to have a character that's gay, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it's got to be more than that. The character can't just be their identity. I mean, I'm sorry, there's more to a character than just who they sleep with.
But Sophie, you're totally my type. I'm more than just my
sexuality.
Well, I'm not. I'm
Gay!
Or, you know what I mean? And that's the problem with a lot of this woke writing that you see in particular affecting Batwoman. And as of yesterday, CW's Batwoman viewership plunges. This is according to Bounding Into Comics. Latest episode posts worst viewership numbers of the entire season. Now, I talked about, I wasn't sure if everyone was going to remember Batwoman after having to take 3 weeks off for the coof, and it looks like they haven't. And you would think, look, even I can say as a YouTuber, my views are way up because people are sitting at home and they're bored out of their gourds and they don't have anything else going on. It's a nice benefit if you earn money per view, although advertisers aren't spending any money on it. but hopefully some of you will stay after the fact when advertisers come back. And it looks like everyone's abandoned the show. CW's Batman series, starring Ruby Rose, posted its worst viewership numbers in its debut season with the latest episode of Narrow Escape. According to TV series finale, Batwoman's Narrow Escape was only viewed by 634,000 people and posted a 0.2 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. Everyone wants that 18 to 49 demographic. That's who spends the money. That's who they want. That is the worst viewership the show has had in its first season since it premiered on October 6th. The last time the show had a viewership below 700,000 was on January 26th with an unbirthday present. The show has been relatively steady decline since it's aired. Its premiere episode was viewed by 1.86 million viewers and had an 18 to 49 demo rating of 0.47. By the second episode, it had dropped to 1.45 million and 35.35. That's over 22% decline in viewership. The show would continue to bleed viewership until the Crisis on Infinite Earth crossover episode on December 9th, titled Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. The episode saw viewership boom to 1.704 million and a rating of 0.6. However, the short-lived viewership boost the following episode, How Queer Everything Is Today, which aired on January 19th, saw viewership plummet below 1 million for the very first time. It had 791,000 viewers, and the 18 to 49 demo tanked too. Well, here's the thing. When we look at the actual dates, what's going on here is you have a show that it moved from Sunday to Monday, okay, and it was a part of a cross-show required reading. Let's call it the Captain Marvel effect, okay? If you followed Arrow, if you followed Supergirl, Batwoman, they were all on a linear timeline, and they were all required reading for each other. So what's particularly savage about this, and that they didn't point out, is just how few of those people they retained. Like, they went from 1 million, they gained 700,000 viewers in a week, okay? And they still dropped 200,000 from the week before, more than 200,000, 210,000, which means not only did they not retain any of those viewers, but they bled another 200,000. So people tuned in, didn't like what they had to see, and it didn't do anything to keep additional viewers. And if you could see, it's basically down, and they had a brief respite that previous week, and then down, 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 up 2%, we'll call that even, and then drops nearly 20% again. The next episode viewership would plunge to 700,000 with only 674,000 people tuning in to Unbirthday Present. It will reach a viewership high for 2020 with the next episode, Take Your Choice. It had a viewership of 848,000. Now, audience rate the show poorly. The declining viewership reflects audience ratings of a show. On Rotten Tomatoes, the series has a 13% audience score from 7,864 users. Now, of course, there are people that just don't like the idea of Batwoman, didn't really give this show a fair shot, and left a review. Do I blame them? Well, not really. Not when a lot of the marketing is like telling people specifically that this show isn't for you. People are going to react to that. Well, people don't like to feel excluded, on purpose anyway. Now, if you look at Metacritic, it has a score of 1.6. with a Metascore from actual critics at 59 actual critics. The CW did announce back in January that Batwoman would receive a second season, and it would begin airing sometime around fall of 2020. However, it's unclear if it will actually happen. Deadline reported back in May that Batwoman is one of a number of series that did not finish filming its final episodes due to shutdowns. Deadline's Nelly Andervera reported there are no firm plans in place for those series' outstanding episodes. Batwoman's Camus Johnson, who plays Luke Fox, recently spoke to TV Line and indicated that the series will replace its original finale that was set to take place with episode 22 with episode 20. Johnson said, honestly, man, I love this finale. I wouldn't say it like that more than the finale we had planned, but I will say when I saw the end of episode 20, I gasped. He added, it's really awesome, and I think fans are going to be pretty happy with it. So essentially, they're cutting it short. Johnson did indicate that he hopes they will shoot episodes 21 and 22. Although I'd love to shoot these episodes, I still hope those stories come, but those episodes are freaking fantastic. I'm totally okay with the current moment finishing the season, episode 20, because I think it's an incredible cliffhanger. I hate cliffhanger endings. I really do. I do. I know why Hollywood does it. So essentially, we've got 1, 2, 3 more weeks left. You know, is it possible that they're cutting it short for other reasons? I don't know. I think it stands to reason that plenty of shows in Hollywood are ending early or shortening up their seasons because production, from what I can understand, is largely still halted or at a standstill. But it will be interesting to see if they get those last 2 episodes, if they call it quits, and what's going to happen if, let's say, they decline another 20-30% and their viewership drops from 1.86 million down to like 300,000 or 400,000. That would be legendarily bad ratings. I mean, if I look at Supergirl, let's see, I think that's on Thursday nights, but Supergirl, nope, that's a Sunday. Okay, so Batwoman aired, but no Supergirl. You could see they had dropped 10% in the demo and 5% in viewers. They're still holding on at 648,000, although that's half of what they started with when the season began. So they've lost half their viewers. Batwoman has lost, looks like, more than 2/3 of its viewers. So I'm not sure that these shows, I mean, how are you profitable? Yeah, they've basically lost 2/3. They have 1/3 of their initial viewership. That's sad. And again, I don't believe these shows are failing because they're woke. I believe they're failing because they thought that's all it would take. They thought people would just tune in because of Muguet. And in fact, they underestimated that demographic as actually wanting good programming. Now, there's actually a good show that looks like it's getting added to the lineup that I'm going to cover tomorrow or maybe later today to give you an idea what a good character writing looks like. And it's going to be interesting to see how that show does. Or maybe the CW network in and of itself is just tanking. It's hard to know. Nonetheless, can't say I feel sorry for them. Couldn't happen to a worse group of jerks, Hollywood. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.